Good morning, students. In today's lecture, I am going to continue with my earlier chapter, that is Ranga's marriage. So, in this lecture, I am going to discuss with you the third part of the lesson. But before that, let us have a quick recap of our earlier class. So, in our earlier classes, we have already learned about the narrator, that how he is telling us the story about Ranga's marriage. He's telling about the story how he made Ranga married to a girl. Till now, no doubt the name of the girl is not mentioned, but I have already told you all that the name of the girl is Ratna. Then secondly, we get to know that Ranga was the first person to go from Hosahali to Bangalore for further studies. So when he returned, it was a great event in their village because people thought that Ranga had changed himself. Because English at that point of time was not so widespread in Hosahali, and Ranga was the only person who went to Bangalore for further studies, and he had returned. And when he returned, people went to visit him, and after staying with him, judging him, they ultimately came to the conclusion that Ranga has not changed. And among that crowd, our narrator was also one of them. So the narrator also went there, and he also had some pleasantries, and then he saw that Ranga was a very good boy. He was a very he was very good in his behavior, not like the immature people in his, or immature youth that is prevalent in his village. So he considers Ranga to be a very good and good educated boy. Now, let us come to the third part of the lesson. In this third part, we will see the main important thing that we will get here in this third part is Ranga's views on marriage. This part is extremely important because here we will see that how, though Ranga, in our earlier part, we can see that people believed that he has not changed at all. His behavior, he gave namaskara to everyone, he has not changed. But in reality, his ideas and his views, his opinion, they have changed. So let us see what is Ranga's views on marriage. Now, you see, if you have the book or the PDF file that I have given to you all, you will just see that in page number 19, we will get Ranga's views on marriage. So the part starts with that afternoon. So here we can see the narrator is telling us that afternoon when I was resting, Ranga came to my house with a couple of oranges in his hand. A generous, considerate fellow. It would be a fine thing to have him marry, settle down, and be of service to society, I thought. So we can see that the narrator was extremely, he was totally impressed by Ranga. That's why he is calling Ranga a generous, considerate fellow. According to the narrator, Ranga was a generous, considerate fellow, and he felt at that point of time that this boy should get married. He should settle down and be of service to society. Now, what do we mean by be of service to society? Be of service to society means at that point of time, getting married was the only option for a girl to be independent in a way, because at that point of time girls were not given educational rights, or even if they were given, they were not many girls were educated at that point of time. So there, to make a girl what can I say, self-dependent, or she might have a future of her own, marriage is the only option. And who can do that? Only a boy can do it. So here we can see that this boy Ranga was was the eligible bachelor according to the narrator, and he feels that this boy would make a very good husband. So when Ranga visited our narrator, he brought some oranges for him. This was a very regular custom in in villages. Even now also we have in our neighbors, we give things or vegetables or whatever is grown in our house to our neighbors, and they would give something back to us. So it was very normal. So Ranga, he brought some oranges for our narrator, and the narrator at that point of time wanted him to marry, and he wanted him to get married actually and be of service to society. And then after talking about this and that, slowly he came directly to the point. The narrator asked Ranga's plan for marriage. He asked that, Rangappa, when do you plan to get married? And the answer that he got was completely shocking for the narrator. So he told, our Ranga told that I am not going to get married now. He said that no, I am not going to marry now. And the person asked, why not? And the next part is what Ranga's views on marriage is about. So he says that I need to find the right girl. So the first thing is that he needs to find the right girl. And then he gives one incident or an example. He said that I know an officer who got married only 6 months ago. He is about 30 and his wife is 25, I am told. They will be able to talk lovingly to each other. Let's say I married a very young girl. She may take my words spoken in love as words spoken in anger. Recently, a troupe in Bangalore staged the play Shakuntala. There is no question of Dushyanta falling in love with Shakuntala if she were young like the present-day brides. Is there? What would have happened to Kalidasa's play? If one gets married, it should be to a girl who is mature. Otherwise, one should remain a bachelor. That's why I am not marrying now. So this was his answer to the narrator's question, why he doesn't want to get married at that point of time. So firstly, according to Ranga, he must find the right girl. And he says that I know an officer who got married 6 months ago, and that officer, the age of that officer is 30 and his wife is 25. So there is 5 years difference between that officer and his wife, and he feels that in this kind of relationship both could understand each other. But if he marries a very young girl, then what will be the problem? He feels that the things that he would be speaking in love might be misunderstood by that young girl because of her immaturity level. She would be immature. She would not be mature at that point of time, because when this lesson is said, child marriage was very much prominent, and he believes that girls will not attain maturity level if he marries a very young girl. So he feels that such kind of marriage would be completely a disaster. So he also says that the play of Shakuntala by Kalidasa, once a troupe is a kind of a group that stages plays. So a troupe recently performed this play Shakuntala, and there he feels that Dushyanta fell in love with Shakuntala only because Shakuntala was mature enough. Otherwise, if Shakuntala would be very young and immature, then definitely Kalidasa's play would not have gained that much of success, and it would not be very famous. So he feels that if one gets married, it should be a girl who is mature. So he feels that a girl should be a mature girl. She should be able to understand everything. Otherwise, one should not get married. And that is the reason why I do not want to get married. He gives the answer to the narrator. And the narrator asks him that is there any other reason? And he says that yes, one more thing is that a man should marry a girl he admires. So in a way, not directly he is saying, but in an indirect manner he is saying that he is not, he is in a way against traditional arranged marriages. So at that point of time, when the marriage or when this lesson is said, arranged marriages were common. And in arranged marriages, what happened? The well-wishers and the family members, they get to see the partners of each other, to whom they are going to get their son or their daughter married. But both the girl and the boy do not have much say, but he feels that one should marry a girl whom he admires, okay, that he should feel some kind of attraction towards that girl, he should admire that girl. And he says that what we have now are arranged marriages. So here actually he is directly saying that nowadays we have only arranged marriages. And he says that how can one admire a girl with milk stains on one side of her face and wetness on the other, or so young that she doesn't even know how to bite her fingers? So what does this line mean? He says that it is quite impossible to admire a very young girl with milk stains on one side and wetness on the other. Means that milk stain on one side means she doesn't know even how to eat things properly. So when we have a food, like I'm eating something, I should eat very neatly. There should not be stains on my face. But if you give a child to eat, then the child would be eating and everywhere there would be stains on his or her face. So he believes that an immature girl is like a baby, where she will be eating things and then everything would be on one side. Here it means immaturity, and also wetness on the other. Wetness on the other means unhygienic. Okay, you can see little kids, their nose are runny, okay, all the time there would be mucus in their nose. So when a girl, when she is of a marriageable age, she should know how to keep herself clean, she should know how to eat properly, and also so young that she doesn't even know how to bite her fingers. Bite her fingers means there should be some kind of shyness in her. She should know how, when to get shy, when she should say things. Here directly it means that he wants a mature girl, a girl who is mature enough to so that he could admire her. So these were his views on marriage. So in this video, if you can see the picture that I have given, so his views were he was against traditional arranged marriages. He must find the right girl. He must be admired by him. That girl should be admired by him, and she should be mature. So when he says that how can I admire a girl with milk stain on one side and wetness on the other and so young that she doesn't even know how to bite her fingers, then our narrator says that yes, one a neem fruit, the other a bitter gourd. So here it means that one way or the other, if you get married to such a girl, then your life would be completely bitter. Bitter means in Assamese if we say tita. Okay. So your life will be totally spoiled. And Ranga, he says yes, exactly. He said laughing. But after learning about Ranga's views on marriage, our narrator, he got completely disappointed. He got distressed. So he says that I was distressed that the boy who I thought would make a good husband, he decided to remain a bachelor. After chatting for a little longer, Ranga left. I made up my mind right then that I would get him married. So you can see that our narrator was totally distressed. So he said that the boy who I thought would make a good husband had decided to remain a bachelor. But one thing you should see, that Ranga, he said that no, I would marry a girl. I would get married if I find the right girl whom I can admire, who is mature enough. He never said that he would remain a bachelor. He said that if I do not find such kind of a girl, one should remain a bachelor. And the narrator, he thought that finding such kind of a girl in his village or during his time is quite next to impossible. So in this way, this boy, whom he thought to be a very good husband, who would come out as a very good husband, that boy had decided to remain bachelor. And after chatting some other things, Ranga left. And at that point of time, our narrator, he completely made up his mind that he would get Ranga married. So this was the point where our narrator took the decision that he would get Ranga married and be of service to the society. I think so. The third part is clear. So in our third part, we get to know about Ranga's views on marriage. We knew that Ranga went to Bangalore. When he returned, people went to see him. They were satisfied that he has not changed at all. His outward appearance had remained same. Even his behavior towards elders had remained same. So they thought that Ranga has not changed. But we can see that in this part, Ranga has changed little bit because his opinion has changed. His views on marriage gives us the idea that Ranga has changed little bit. And with this, we can say that here in this part, our narrator, he was determined to get Ranga married. I think I am clear to everyone. Now let us come to the focus questions. So in this focus questions, we can see the first question is, what were Ranga's views about marriage? So I have already told you all what were Ranga's views on marriage. So you have to write all the views. Okay. And lastly, why was the narrator distressed? The narrator was distressed because he thought that Ranga would come out as a very good husband, but he has finally decided to remain a bachelor. Why? Because Ranga feels that he should not get married until and unless he finds the right girl whom he can admire, and she should be a mature girl. So these are the focus questions of this part. So with this, I end my lecture. Thank you very much.